You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin. Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more.
Welcome here to the Wild West Bass Trail live show. I'm Matt Morgan, half owner here. I kind of stay behind the scenes, sitting with my good friend Gary Dobbins. We're here at Colville Marina, here at beautiful Lake Mead, the Lucas Oil Western Classic. Gary, it's been a tough day.
You know, it's been a tough day. The weather, the guys don't want the rain, the wind. They want this hot sun, but the trouble is they need the wind, and today they did not get the wind, and it made the bite tougher. I mean, you do not want slick water on Lake Mead.
No, you don't. And one thing that I've noticed that you've talked and preached to most of these anglers is that you cannot do the same thing 3 days in a row and walk away with one of these nice trophies here.
You know, you can't. Lake Mead's one of those fisheries that it never stays the same. You have to change, and most generally you got to change areas and change, you know, techniques. It's just the way it is. You cannot win on a school of fish on Lake Mead. You must move around.
You know, we're going to make this a short live show today. It's been a little bit of a spin-out situation. We put another cameraman on the water today, and Gary had a misfortune of running a long ways and thought that he could make it back here. And this is something that I'm going to ride him for at least 5 years. He ran out of a little bit of push water. Gary, come on.
Well, you know, that tank in that truck of mine is supposed to be 35 gallons, and I think it's only 30.
So, look, that's the reason we're starting a little bit late, but, hey, we all make mistakes. At the end of the day, we're going to make this short. I want to talk just shortly about our second year. We're almost to conclude our second year here with Wild West Bass Trail. I met Gary 3 years ago. We were at a trade show. He said, Matt, what do you think about starting a bass trail on the West Coast? And I kind of looked at him like he had 3 heads. But getting to know Gary, we kind of come from the same cut, the same mold, if you will. I'd say that we're both hard-headed. We were told multiple times it would fail. We said that, you know, it would never last. And here we go. We've paid out mega money, better than what West Coast anglers have had in many, many years. We've went through different format changes, and I want to talk about that for a second as to what's made this successful.
Well, you know, we tried a new format this year with the fishing the pros and the coes on the last day. It is successful to a degree, but it did also come with a set of problems, and we'll probably see some changes in the future. But guys, we send out a questionnaire and we follow the angler's advice.
Yeah.
When someone says that, you know, the 96% of the guys wanted a big fish option pool. So therefore, we just wrote it. We made it a part of the entry fee. So they got their big fish, 5-fish pool. They wanted a cut to top 10 in a third day. 96% of the anglers requested it. So it was a no-brainer. We did it. We're trying to do exactly what the fishermen want to make it successful in the West. And honestly, I mean, it's working pretty well.
Yeah. You know, stop and talk about teams for a second. You know, we developed a format that was basically in place 20 years ago, if you will, that there were no practice days. People looked at us, they laughed at us and said, hey, it'll never, ever succeed. What were our numbers in California this year?
This year we kicked off with 167. The second event was 181. The third event was 172. And the last one we fell all the way down to an even 140. No one has touched those numbers, actually, maybe never. Very, very strong following.
With what kind of payback?
With 100% plus payback, and the anglers, I mean, they liked it. Obviously, they showed up. We had a great year this year. I mean, things went really smooth. We had a lot of fun. Number one, guys, we had a lot of fun. It's really fair the way we did it with the off limits period. So the guys that have to work Thursday and Friday, they don't get to practice. Well, neither does anybody else. Everybody shows up Saturday, and you tell the other guy how bad you're going to whip his butt. You go out and you try to do the job. You just go out and get it on. No practice. Best man, best team wins.
And in certain situations, that I think at Orville, they were fishing for a winner was well over 10 grand.
Yes, it was. We had over $10,000 payday for a one-day team tournament. That's pretty awesome. and they still didn't hit all the contingencies, though they would have won even more.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about that for a second, because when you talk, you know, I'm a crappie angler from back east, live in Indiana, and own a crappie trail with Gary back in the eastern part of the country, southeast as well. Gary, I know for me, in the first year of crappie fishing, when I blast those boats off, they look at me and they come check my pulse, because my face gets white, I get sick, I want to start puking, and I know that I've watched you for 2 years, and you're a lot the same way.
Yeah, I tell you guys, being a fisherman and watching everybody else blast off and go fishing while I stand on the dock, I mean, I can't even tell you how bad that hurts. I mean, I don't like it. I say I'm in the fourth quarter of my fishing career, and standing on the dock in the fourth quarter sucks. It really does. I don't like it one bit, and it's really tough. But I think that I've always said that it took fishermen to make a circuit successful in the West, and me and Matt are both professional fishermen, and I think it took us to make this circuit with not only as far as the ideas of what the right way to go about it, but also with the pull and the you know, the knowledge we have with the sponsors. I mean, that was a huge deal. Our industry's tapped out. I mean, companies are not looking for places to spend money, but they believed in us.
One last thing about that, you know, I think we've had multiple conversations, and I kind of pull you off the cliff every once in a while, because I say this: as a crappie angler and own an American crappie trail, and you're the face of Wild West Bass Trail, there is one thing that I will say that we talk about a lot, that we can give back to the sport more in this capacity than what we ever could with a rod in our hand. And I think that is the honest truth.
It is, but it still sucks.
It is, but when you say that, it hits the heart. But I'm going to tell you, this list of sponsors, and this is the last thing I want to go over, we're not even going to talk fishing, because we're going to give every one of these anglers that are coming up here their opportunity to tell you guys what happened today. When the fishermen are running the trail, and we are directly involved with this group of sponsors here, we look at how we can give them their return on investment. It could not be possible without Lucas Oil.
You know, guys, I mean, I'll change a little bit on you, Matt. I mean, I've supported Lucas Oil for the last 4 or 5 years, and they are not a personal sponsor of mine. They are of the trail now, but I still buy Lucas Oil because they support the sport that I love, and they put money into bass fishing around the country. Therefore, I've always supported. I've wore a Lucas logo for years and years because they put money into our sport. But know this about Lucas Oil: if it says Lucas Oil on the container, you're buying the best that there is.
There's no question at all. And they make it from everything from your trucks to your boats to your lawnmowers to every possible thing that uses any type of oil. They make it. The additives, the research and development, their true commitment to our industry as well as everyone else's is second to none. Nope,
like I said, guys, if it says Lucas on it, I know I'm buying the best. And I just had to go down about a week and a half ago and buy some 85-90 gear oil for a tractor. And I looked, and there was Lucas sitting there, and that's what I bought because I knew I was getting the best.
That's exactly right. Evan Rude Motors, Evan Rude Outboards. Gary, they're near and dear to you. You got a great relationship.
I was lucky enough to get put on the Evan Rude Pro team about 13, 14, 15 years ago. I really don't know. Time flies. It's a phenomenal product. The new G2 is the best motor on the water. It's unbelievable. The torque out of the hole, the top end, the power steering. It's got safeguards built in. I mean, you can't hurt it. You can run it out of oil, and you just can't hurt that engine. It is just state-of-the-art technology. It took them 5 years to roll that engine down the line to get it out on the water. Every day I run mine, I just love it that much more.
Absolutely. Ranger boats. I've ran nothing but a Ranger my entire life. I can't say enough about what a Ranger boat means when you're fishing a big body of water like Lake Mead.
Dude, I tell you, they build them so solid, and then they foam fill everything. I mean, when you hit a wave, there's no vibration, there's no nothing. I mean, Rangers are solid. They used to always say built one at a time. Well, I'm telling you, they're just not a better boat on the water. I don't worry. I don't care how rough it gets. It doesn't matter. It cannot sink, and I am not going to be in trouble.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. You know, we got General Tire out here in the West Coast, which is means a lot to us. General Tire, parent company's Continental, big company that really believes that the West Coast anglers buy into the product. We push the General Tire as much as we possibly can. The TV, the social media aspect of it, it's a win-win.
And I'll tell you, General Tire just launched a new tread pattern for their all-terrains. Guys, this is one of the best tread patterns I've ever seen. Be sure and check it out. It's an absolutely awesome tire.
Very, very, very good. Super Clean, another great company. They make a degreaser, part of a Team Lucas product or a Team Lucas subsidiary. Super Clean, anything you need to clean, we're out here in the West Coast, and cleaning live wells, cleaning holes is an absolute must. Super Clean's the product to do it.
Dude, it's biodegradable. It, to be totally honest, before they come on as a sponsor, I'd never heard of Super Clean. And now, I mean, that stuff, it works on anything. It doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't hurt anything, and it's biodegradable.
Yes.
It's the best stuff that I've ever used.
Absolutely. Gary Yamamoto. Boy, I tell you, we talk about it. You know, we're not gonna beat this one because we talked about it with Heidi yesterday. It is amazing to me, being an East Coast guy, you do not see the amount of Yamamoto product on the East Coast that you see on the West Coast. And proud to have them as a sponsor. I don't know how anyone in the West Coast would fish without it.
You don't. I mean, you don't. It's simple as that. Every single boat in the West will have a bunch of Yamamoto products in it. I mean, the Cinco being number one, but the Hula Grub, the Super Grub, the Fat Ica. I mean, just a great list of baits, and they're tournament winners. And, you know, like I'll tell you, I quote my son. He said something to Heidi about 4 years ago when he's chasing an FLW Angler Year. He goes, I don't know how I ever caught a fish before they made a Cinco. Just amazing. Yamamoto is just phenomenal, and I'm lucky enough to call them people great friends as well.
That's good. That's an awesome deal. Lowrance Electronics. You know, I say they're at the top of the list. You know, the units they make, the amount of money that they put into the research, the side scan, the total structure scan transducers. They're always coming up. They're always updating firmware. They're always trying to be cutting edge. On these bodies of water in the West Coast, without a good electronics, you're dead in the water.
You know you are, and I tell you, these young and upcoming anglers, they're really good with these electronics. I mean, they can take days at times off their pre-fish time. It's just amazing. For a guy like me that really has trouble with a lot of buttons on stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not a real technological guy, but yet they're easy to use. I turn them on auto, and they pretty much take care of me. The mapping is excellent. They mark fish excellent. I mean, it's just the best. I mean, they're top in the game.
You know, here's another one coming up right here, Power Pole. Very, very, very predominant on the East Coast. On the West Coast, I think we've swayed some guys over to using some power poles, and I think you witnessed that today, didn't you?
You know, I've seen a lot of power poles get used the last few days. I mean, it's pretty awesome. They, you know, the leader today, when he'd have a bait mess up or he would catch a fish, he dropped his poles instant. He held him right there. And one time I watched him miss a fish. The bait balled up, and he dropped his poles. He got everything all situated, straightened out. Poles have held him right there, and he launched right back in there and caught a really, really good fish.
That's unbelievable. So Power Pole, absolutely ecstatic to have them with us on the West Coast here. Costa sunglasses, we don't need to say a whole lot. It's the only thing I've worn for years and years, and it's the only thing I've ever seen you wear.
Yeah, I mean, I've worn Costas forever and ever. I got a little different set on right now because I just stole them out of my truck, being that I took a swipe at a horsefly out there that was trying to chew my leg off today, and my Costas went sailing out in the middle of Lake Mead. So I've still got Costas on, just not the ones I normally wear.
Yeah, Gator Guards. Gator Guards has been with us from day one. Great keel protectors. They are actually, it's an option now on Ranger boats. So from an OEM factory option, Gator Guards, you can have one put on right at the factory.
Yeah, and they can do it aftermarket as well. It's a top quality. There's only two names that I even know of in the industry,
Right.
and Gator is one of them.
That's right. P-Line, something that I use back east as well. I've used it for, 15 years.
I've used it, I don't know. I think I've always used it. Even before I even started tournament bass fishing, we used it as a river line. We just, P-Line. And CXX is the best monofilament I've ever used, but they've got a great braided line out now. They've got phenomenal fluorocarbon, well-rounded company, and again, really good friends of mine.
Dobbins rods. Hey, come on.
Well, if you guys ain't using them, shame on you. We're just finishing up our 11th year. I cannot believe that 11 years have went by that fast. Great time, family business. Things are great. Business is growing. We work really, really hard on customer service, guys. Quality of product and customer service is one-on-one, and we've once again outgrown, our warehouse that I said we would never outgrow. That's happened 3 times since we started the business. So once again, I'm building a bigger warehouse.
And I promise you, if you're not using one, you need to put one in your hand. It is a phenomenal rod. I don't bass fish a lot, but when I do, I'm using a Dobbins rod.
Thank you, buddy.
A&M Graphics, last one. A lot of boats out here that are wrapped. This trailer that's wrapped, this 38-foot stage trailer, gooseneck trailer, wrapped by A&M Graphics. Great company out of Arizona. Andrew Napoleon does a fantastic job for us, all our banners, so forth. These sponsors make Wild West Bass Trail happen. Gary and I are fortunate that we do not make a living off of Wild West Bass Trail. We are anglers that have given back to the sport. We are very proud of that. I think we've talked about enough of this. I think we've got anglers that are lined up here. We're going to weigh our co-anglers first. Go ahead.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Bobby Ellis and Mr. J.R. Robinson for coming and saving my bacon today. I really appreciate a couple of lifelong buddies of mine. So I called for the cavalry to come over the hill, and they showed up really quick.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for doing that. It'd be a heck of a deal trying to run this thing without him. Look, the Western Lucas Oil Western Classic, it's been fun. We are moving it next year. It has been fun. I've got a lot of reports that guys struggled today. I'm not going to get into it in depth. I think our leader was doing okay, but I don't think he knocked it out of the park. I think it's going to be one of those tournaments that literally may come down to the last 5 minutes.
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead.
Catching them 3 days is tough.
Absolutely. Without more time, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to bring Craig Walls back up to the stage. We're going to get right in to our co-anglers. Stay right back. We're going to be right back here to weigh in the co's.
Bought her many years ago, and she's been there for you every day since. It's because you've taken care of her, pampered her. Only the best will do. That's why you choose Lucas Oil Marine products to protect her. Every day she starts, gets you there, and gets you back, even after all these years. Lucas Oil Marine products, because it's no fun to walk back to shore from the middle of the lake.
The future of boating is here. Now, get all the thrilling performance of an Evinrude E-Tech G2 in the new 150, 175, and 200 horsepower.
Bass fishing's fun, but half of these tournaments is like a boat race, trying to beat everybody down the lake. And with that Evinrude E-Tech G2, it's like driving a Corvette. That thing is passing everybody.
All the best-in-class torque of the Evinrude E-Tech G2 is now available from 150 to 300 horsepower.
This is a whole nother level. The G2 is awesome.
To learn more, visit evinrude.com.
You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin.
Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more. You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin.
Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more.
Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Western Classic. I'm Craig Gottwals. He's Gary Dobbins. We're the Wild West Bass Trail, and we are not going to make you wait a second longer. We're going to get right into our co-angler weigh-in. Up here on stage with me in the hot seat, we have the leader coming into today. He's sitting in first place. It's his rookie season, and he has had a great rookie season with us. He is from Martinez, California, Mr. Seth Myers. Thank you. Seth, no nerves at all, right? Rookie season. You've been up here before. It's all chill.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm not nervous at all. I can see how steady I'm holding my my water.
That's how Keith Tripp holds it every time he's up here.
I'm a little nervous. You know, we had some big bags coming in, and anything's possible.
Outstanding. Well, let's get right to it and see if you're going to hold that seat and how long you're going to hold that seat. Because, of course, the way this works is we weigh all these gentlemen in. He's probably going to get bumped off of this stage sooner than later, but we do let him weigh his bag last. So you do get last look, as we say in the industry. All right, let's get right to our weigh-in. This gentleman was second in the Angler of the Year points coming into this event. He has to make up 3 spots on Roy Des Mangles to tie him for Angler of the Year as the co-angler. He's in 10th place in the event coming into the day. Mr. Brandon Smith. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing all right. Had a good day today. Out there.
You had a good day.
I did have a good day.
And so we were doing a little math over there. You have to beat Roy Des Mangles by 4 spots to win, 3 spots to tie, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right into seeing these fish. Show them to us one at a time, if you don't mind. Brandon had 987 as a 2-day weight coming into the day, and he's 750 behind our leader. 750 behind our leader right over here, Seth Myers. 2 in the bag? 2 in the bag. 3 in the bag. Folks, just the fact that he has 3 fish as a co-angler today is a big deal already, because it was not easy out there by any means. 4 in the bag. Do you have a limit, my friend? Wow. That is the accomplishment right there, Brandon. 4 in the bag. Trust me, it was tough out there. Gary and I didn't even make it through the day. 4 in the bag. He needs 750 to catch up to Seth Myers and take that hot seat away. Let's see if Brandon does it. Oh boy, not quite going to do it. 627, Brandon. You're not going to take that hot seat. You're not going to win this event, but Angler of the Year is based upon a whole season. We know you got a limit. How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay about the Angler of the Year. I knew I had a lot of work to do today to catch up in this tournament. My day 1 killed me. I lost about a 4.5, 5 right at the boat, and a 2.5 early in the day. So I didn't even expect to be fishing. I had told my wife I was coming home this morning after I weighed in, and then I was told I'm fishing. So today was like a bonus day. I had a lot of fun out there today. Fished with Marty Lawrence, and he just had me around fish. It took me a while to get my first one in the boat, but once I did, it was kind of steady from there, and I was able to just scratch away at a limit. So I had fun. It was a good day. It was my first limit of this tournament, so hopefully I did it at the right time, and for the Angler of the Year, I'll bump up.
That might end up being the best day to get a limit. Brandon, nicely done. Thank you for fishing with us. We appreciate you. We hope to see you with us next year.
Yeah, I hope so. I had a good time this year. I was able to fish 3 top 10s, which was great. It was my first time doing a full year on a Pro-Am circuit. I learned a lot. All the pros that I fished with throughout the whole circuit were all accommodating. Nobody backseated me. You know, everybody was really helpful. I learned from every single pro I fished with. And I just want to thank my wife and my daughter for letting me come out here and spend weeks away for these tournaments. I know it's hard on them for me to be gone that long, but I appreciate them letting me do that.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you. We'll be keeping in touch here as this weigh-in goes on, we should say. Coming up next, he was in 3rd place in the Angler of the Year standings coming into the day. He's in 9th place in this event. He would need to pass up Brandon by 3 spots and Roy Des Mangles by 6 spots to take home Angler of the Year, and that is Mr. Robert Nicholson. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing good. It's tough out there a little bit.
Tough day, wasn't it? Gary and I were out there roasting in the sun. We ended up in a Las Vegas prison before these nice men broke us out. But, you know, we're going to make it through it. How was your day?
Oh, rough. I only got one little rat.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're weighing bass.
I know.
Oh, okay. Let's see that bass then. Let's see him right now. Let's see it. I've never seen a rat bass. There you go. Well, hey, you know what? He's lively. He's kicking. Let's get him on the scales.
Weighs a pound.
Yeah, well, he'll be close. He'll be close.
I don't know. Oh, wait a minute.
No. We gotta re-zero that out. Yeah.
I want that weight.
No. Let's try it again. Tournament director reweigh.
All right.
He's a pound 44. Nicely done. Look, I know that's not what you wanted today, but you had a great season fishing with us, Robert.
Yeah, I've learned a lot, and I thank Wild West Bass Trail for putting this on and stuff, because Juan used to have it, and I fished every bit of those.
Thank you so much. You going to be with us next year?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Well, we'll see you then, Robert. Thank you very much. Seth Myers over here. Still sitting pretty. No worries, right?
No worries.
No worries at all. Seth is still in our hot seat. The next angler coming to the scales is going to need, he has 1127 total, and he's going to need 610 to take Seth off of that stage. And that's Mr. Robert Morris. Come on up here, Robert. No, it's Dante Ray. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my screen. Robert Morris is going to let Dante Ray go first. Dante Ray has 1107 coming into this event, and he's going to need 630 to take Seth off of that hot seat. Dante, it looks like it might have been a tougher day for you, my friend.
Absolutely. Gave it all I had. Did everything I did from practice. The first couple days just didn't pan out for me today. But had a great day with Philip Rosner and Ron Hemmett my first day, and Tom Leadham my second day guy. I learned a lot from all three guys. I had an amazing year with Wild West. This is my first Pro-Am circuit, full circuit here. I was blessed to top 10 once, almost top 10 again, and made it to the championship. So can't really be mad or sad because you made it to day 3 and you gave yourself a shot at it. You know?
Thank you so much, Dante. We appreciate you fishing with us, and we know we'll see you next year.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Sorry, Robert, I jumped the gun on you. Now you're coming on up here to see me. He had 1127 coming into today, folks, and he needs 610 to take Seth Myers out of that hot seat. Mr. Robert Morris. How you doing, Robert?
Good.
Good tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I made my first top 10, so it's a good day.
Always good to do that in the championship. Well, let's get right to checking out your fish, one at a time, so the crowd can see those beautiful Lake Mead bass. It's a great smallie to start with, Robert. That's a great way to start the day. And that's a great way to end the day then, too. Let's weigh that fish up and see how it goes. It was a tough day out there, folks. Tough day. That bass is going to go 221, Robert. Anybody you want to thank for this season?
Well, I want to thank you guys for putting on a good tournament trail. I definitely learned a lot. My boaters, they taught me a lot of stuff. I'm originally from the East Coast. So
I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it at all.
I stick out like a sore thumb. So yeah, I'm gonna take what I learned here, and if I ever make it back to the East Coast, I'll apply it there. Some of the stuff I've learned.
Well, we hope you stay here, and we hope we see you next season. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Coming up to us next, an outstanding angler out of Arizona. He had 1144 coming into this day. He will need 593 to knock Seth Myers out of that chair. And that is Jacob Scholl. Look at Dobbins Rod Pro, top to bottom, sparkly white. You look like you're clean and pressed, my friend.
Well, you got to look good for the boss man.
That's right. You got to look good for the boss man. He and I had a rough day, man. I don't know if you heard. We were in a prison. We were out late on the strip last night, and Gary Dobbins got out of hand bad. We were jumped by 14 MS-13 gang members. He beat every one of them up, and let me tell you, those girls were not happy about it. So we ended up in the clink, and thank God
J.R. Robinson and Bobby Ellis came and busted us out in time for this weigh-in. Let's see your fish. Quick one. We got one smallie in the bag. Coming on through. Next fish coming through. 2 in the bag for Jacob. You've already beaten the average for the day, Jacob. It's been a tough day on that. That's a nice bass. A nice, clean, healthy largemouth. 3 in the bag. Pretty good day, Jacob. Those 3 are going to have to go $5.93 for you to take this seat from our current leader. You've been here a long time, dude. Let's see. Oh, $5.90. He's been there too long. He wants to go. He needs $5.93, and he's going to have $5.10. $5.10. Getting closer, but you're still safe. Jacob, it was a great season for you. We watched you on Championship Sunday a few times this year.
Yeah, started out at Mojave, was close, ended up 18th, and then went to Lake Havasu, took 5th place there, and then the California Delta, first time I ever fished there. Ty helped me figure out some fish, and I ended up 6th place there. And then same with Meade today. Ty, pre-fishing with him, helped me out a lot to figure out how to catch some fish, and I was lucky to get 3 today.
Well, he's one of the best Dobbins Rod Co-anglers on the tour, and we're happy to have him. Jacob Scholl. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
We'll see you next season. He was leading your Angler of the Year points race coming into this event. He is from Rockland, California. He had 1183, and he needs 554 to unseat our leader, and that is Mr. Professor Roy Desmangles. Roy's fish are already up here secretly. We're just playing a trick on all y'all. No, we got to watch Roy fish today. We were all the way up at the top of the Overton Arm watching Roy and our current leader on the pro side fishing all day today. And both Gary and I really appreciated the professional Roy is. I mean, he had his head down. He fished hard. He had a cameraman next to him. He had a camera pole next to him. It wasn't the easiest situation, and it was a tough bite out there today, wasn't it, Roy?
It was a little bit rough, but that's a beautiful place up there. There's some good ones there. They're not like all over the place, but if you're patient with it, sometimes you can get the kind of fish that will win you a tournament like this. So I was happy to be up there. It just wasn't my day today.
No, it wasn't. Well, you had a great season. You're still in the running for Angler of the Year. Is there anybody you want to thank for the year, or anything you want to say to sum up the year?
Well, when I come up on stage, it's not about me. Even when I'm doing really well or not doing so well, you know, what we want to do is pay homage to, you know, the people that help us to be here, and that's the sponsors and all these nice little brands that are up here facing the public. That's what keeps us out here, and we certainly appreciate that. You know, one of my favorites up here, of course, I've had 5 Ranger boats. I use Super Clean to clean my stuff up. Lucas. I put it in my gas tank, I put it in my oil tank and all my cars and in the boats. I got Lowrance on my boats. I look around here and just about Gary Yamamoto. I mean, come on, everybody's got that. So, you know, this is what it's about, is paying homage to the businesses that keep us out here, and we certainly appreciate that.
Thank you, Roy. We appreciate you fishing with us, and we look forward to seeing you next season.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. All right, man. We're about halfway through this weigh-in, or a little over halfway through this weigh-in, and Seth Myers is still our leader, Seth. Are we just going to leave you up here all day?
I hope so, even though it's real hot, and I'd like to get out of this hot seat because I feel like a lobster boiling up here.
Do you know what you're about to win if you win this event?
A Ranger
Evinrude boat package, that's right. 175? No, 188 RT. Either way, you're getting a very cool Ranger boat package.
I'm super excited, and I hope that I can stay here in this hot seat and as long as I can.
All right. Well, you're still there after weighing in just over half our field, which is a really, really good start. So coming to us next, he had 13:05 coming into the event. He only needs 4:32 to knock you out of that chair. The numbers keep getting smaller, man. That ain't cool, is it? Yeah. And that's out of Phoenix, Arizona, Dustin Robinson. How are you, Dustin?
It was a little bit tougher today. It was a lot tougher today. You know, this is Lake Mead. It changes minute to minute, day to day. So let me pull them out.
Let's check them out. Yeah, one at a time. Let's see those fish. They're lively. I hear them kicking and scratching and clawing, folks. They're ready to get right back into Lake Mead. Smallmouth bass. No, right into this bag here, sir. There you go. Right into that bag there. That's it. Whoa. You know what? You're not alone. There's been some zeros and ones today. That seems to be the most popular result. So we got one fish. That fish is going to have to go 432 to take the lead. I'm thinking it may not. I'm right. It's 126 for that fish. 126, Dustin. Go ahead and hit Gary. Yeah, he's the reason we ended up in prison today, man. That wasn't cool at all.
You know, this is like me. I like it because I learn a lot here. There's so many bites that can be going on at one time. I mean, I had a lot of good days of practice, caught some good fish. I want to thank Mike Spain, my normal team partner, who came up here and let me pre-fish with him, and Justin Patty, my normal team partner. I mean, we got on some good fish, covered a lot of the water. Greg Trotton, who was my first day pro, learned a lot from him, and Jim Elliott. I mean, they put me on fish and let me get here to the final day. It just sometimes doesn't go your way. I think it was around fish all the time. Just sometimes you get bad timing, but I'm just glad to be here. It's a great format. It's what brought me out here. I hadn't fished a Pro-Am in like 10 years. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, Abe.
Thank you. We'll see you next season. Okay, we got 3 co-anglers left. Seth Myers is still sitting up here in first place out of Martinez, California. Coming up next, we have the more sophisticated, the more advanced angler of the Borofka team. We have Tara Borofka coming to the scales. Tara's had a great event with 13:26 so far. She needs 4:11 to knock you out of that seat, Seth. So let's get right to it, Tara. Let's see those fish one at a time. Sound good? All right. A good sign was that she brought a bag up, folks, so we know she's got bass. There's a smallmouth going in the bag. Very nice fish. Second fish coming along. Girls don't need gloves, Tara. Come on now. Jason wears the gloves. Let's not lie. The second fish in the bag. Second fish in the bag. 2 in the bag is it, Tara. All right. Well, let's weigh them, and then let's chat a little bit. Those 2 fish are going to have to go 4:11. If I were a gambling man, you know, when I'm not, I would think that might not happen.
I don't think so.
Those 2 fish are going to go 3:21. 3:21, Tara.
Better than I thought.
You had a great event.
Wait, you missed one. I had.
You had a great event, Tara. That puts you into 3rd place right now as we currently stand. You might end up in 3rd in this event. How do you feel about that?
I'm feeling fabulous. Just so happy to be here. Extremely happy that my husband made it to the championship Sunday too. And you know, I love this lake. I do. I think it's beautiful, but it is hard to catch fish here. Caught a lot, but they couldn't all keep. It's just happy to be here. I'm stoked.
Well, do you have any sponsors you want to thank for your season?
I would like to definitely thank Wild West Bass Trail. Definitely want to thank Wild West Bass Trail. Lucas Oil, Ranger Boats, Gary Yamamoto, River to Sea, Costa, Dobbins Rods, Hold Please, Sims, Lorenz, Ranger, Evinrude. Yeah, they all really made this year fun for me. Last year too, so thank you, sponsors, and just thank you everybody for coming out. My brother drove all the way out here. My mom's out here too, so it's awesome. Thank you guys. And my pros, oh my gosh, I fished with Roy Hawk day 1. Put me on so many fish. Had my opportunities to catch 5. Got 4. My day 2 pro's a little questionable. Jason, he's hard to fish behind. And then Randy Pierson. It was awesome fishing with him today. We had such a good time, and definitely just a good fisherman. So I'm thankful to be fishing with all 3 of those guys.
Is it fair to say your 3rd favorite pro of the weekend is Jason Borofka?
Definitely.
Wow, let's end it at that. I like that. Tara, thank you.
But I love you.
Boy, I know how that feels, man. I have fished with a spouse before, and I know that rap. Very nice.
Double the stress.
Double the stress. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the championship for the teams in October. All right, we've got 2 left. 2 left. Coming in out of boat number 2. He had 14:04 coming into the day, and you are going to need 3:33 to knock Seth out of that chair. Getting a little tighter, isn't it, Seth? This is Joseph Cunningham. How you doing, Joseph?
I could be doing better if I had some big ones in the bag, but it is what it is. I've been in this position before. I went into day 3 on Shasta in 2nd place and fell down.
Yeah. Okay, let's get Seth right up here next to me. Come on up here, Seth, because if he doesn't have 3:33, You're the champion without even weighing your fish. Now, we don't know if he has fish. That's kind of part of the drama. But that's kind of cool, huh?
That is pretty cool. I hope it falls in my favor.
Anybody you want to thank quickly before we get to your fish?
Yeah, Wild West Bass Trail. I mean, we couldn't do this without you guys, and you know, it's just a great opportunity. If anybody's interested, come out and give it a try.
Without further ado, we're going to crown a champion here. If Joseph has 333, then we got to weigh Seth's fish. If Joseph doesn't have 333, Seth is your champion at this event. So let's see those fish one at a time, Mr. Dobbins. Again, we're looking for 333 to determine if we even need to go on in this weigh-in. One bass in the bag. He's a third of the way there. He's just a third of the way there. Your champion here at the Western Classic, Seth Meyer. This is yours, Mr. Myers. This is yours. You are the Wild West Bass Western Classic Lucas champion in 2017. You just won a Ranger and an Evinrude, my friend.
I'm super excited. I don't even really know what to say at this point. I want to thank first my sponsors, or not my sponsors, but the Wild West Bass Trail sponsors. In particular, I would like to thank Dobbins Rods. I use nothing but Dobbins Rods. The entire tournament and the entire tournament trail, nothing but Dobbins Rods. On this tournament, for the baits, I used Gary Yamamoto Hula Grubs and nothing but. So thank you.
The whole event?
The entire event, start to finish. I didn't pick up a single other bait. So the Yamamoto Hula Grub won this tournament for me. I would also like to thank Ranger Boats. All of my pros that I went out with had Ranger Boats, and they got us to and from safely, quickly, efficiently. I would like to thank Gary Dobbins for hosting the tournament. I would like to thank everybody who helped put this on. I'd like to thank Mom, Dad. I would like to thank Jason Cordiali for bringing me to the tournaments. He got me into the Wild West Bass Trail and into fishing for prizes. And he's a great guy. I've known him since I was a little kid, and we used to go fishing at the country club ponds and the golf course ponds, and had a great time. Now we're doing it as adults, and yeah, I'm very excited. I'm beside myself.
Well, thank you, Seth. You are our champion this year. We are going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin. Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more.
Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Western Classic. We have just crowned our champion, Mr. Seth Myers out of Martinez, California. He thanked some of his sponsors. He thanked some of his best friends. Let's see his fish. I mean, we don't even know. Did he catch a fish today? He didn't even have to win this event, but let's see how he did. Show him to us one at a time, Seth. He's probably only got one, right? I mean, what the heck? He didn't even need him. There's his fish right there. There it is. You got more. All right. He's got more. His fish are lively. Oh, that's a nice one, Seth. Largemouth. Nicely done. Woo! Those are some Ranger live wells keeping these fish feisty. Your Lake Mead bass. 3 in the bag. Seth, are you kidding me? 3 in the bag. What a great day. Nicely done, Seth. Let's weigh those fish. Those fish are going to go 578. 578 for your bag of fish. So well done, Seth. Seth, we're going to have a special check presentation for you. Come on up here next to me. We're going to have one Mr. Jason Cordiali come up and present you with your check, and I want you to tell Jason what he means to you.
He means he's like my best friend. I can't tell him how much I appreciate him for bringing me on this tournament, and all the encouragement he's given me, not just here at Lake Mead, but at all the lakes through the entire trail, starting out at Lake Shasta in January. And I just couldn't ask for a better friend than this guy standing right next to me, and I appreciate you, Jason. Thank you.
No, we've known each other since kindergarten, and we just reconnected 2 years ago. And I was like, man, Seth, what are you doing on the weekends? Do you want to fish co-angler? You haven't been fishing since we were little. And he's all, sure. Shows up to Shasta, takes third, I think, right? Yeah, so he's had a hell of a year. Great listener, and he learns fast. So he's only going to get better, and he's going to get a lot better.
Just real quick, I forgot to thank my pro today, Clayton Eastlick, and Dave Zavar, if he's out there watching. He's been supporting on every one of these tournaments, calls me, FaceTimes me, and we wrap that way. So thank you.
Thank you, Seth. And your boat package, your Ranger boat Evinrude motor package, is going to be valued at $24,500, and you are now going to be taking a couple pictures with Ranger Boat's very own Mr. Keith Tripp. Thank you, Keith. Nicely done. Nicely done, folks. Thank you, Keith. You get your trophy right over here? All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to crown our pro champion for this event. See you in just a moment.
You bought her many years ago, and she's been there for you every day since. It's because you've taken care of her, pampered her. Only the best will do. That's why you choose Lucas Oil Marine Products to protect her. Every day she starts, gets you there, and gets you back. Even after all these years, Lucas Oil Marine Products, because it's no fun to walk back to shore from the middle of the lake.
You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin. Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more.
The future of boating is here. Now, get all the thrilling performance of an Evinrude E-Tech G2 in the new 150, 175, and 200 horsepower.
Bass fishing's fun, but half of these tournaments is like a boat race, trying to beat everybody down the lake. And with that Evinrude E-Tech G2, it's like driving a Corvette. That thing is passing everybody.
All the best-in-class torque of the Evinrude E-Tech G2 is now available from 150 to 300 horsepower.
This is a whole other level. The G2 is awesome.
To learn more, visit evinrude.com.
Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Western Classic. We've just crowned our co-angler champion of this season, and that was Seth Myers. He just took home a Ranger Boat Evinrude motor package valued at $24,500. And now, the moment I think most of you have been waiting for, we're going to get to our top 10 pro anglers, and we are going to crown our champion for 2017 on the pro side. So coming up first, to the scales, is the angler who was in 10th place coming into the day. He had 19:29 coming into the day. He is 5:19 behind our leader. Mr. Dobbins. We need a hot seat guy. Matt Morgan. We need a hot seat guy. We need Nick Salvucci up here. You know, Gary and I spent the morning in prison. It's been a rough day, folks. We're getting through it. We are getting through it. Mr. Salvucci, did you hear that Gary and I didn't make it back on time?
I sure did.
Wow, did you know that we got thrown in prison because he beat up a whole bunch of MS-13 gang members? They were girls, but what the heck?
I didn't hear that. I just heard.
It was wild.
I just heard you didn't make it back.
We didn't make it back, my friend, but we got to watch you fish for a little bit, didn't we?
You had a good time with me, right?
We did. We had a good time with you. So we're going to put you in the hot seat. You are leading this event. You've got about a 3-pound lead over second place. You know how this goes. You're going to sit there until one of these guys knocks you off, and then you're going to get to come up at the end and weigh your fish. Now, should you be as lucky as our co-angler, you won't even need to weigh your fish. You'll just win, right? You think there's any chance of that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It was a much closer on this side. Okay, so he is our leader, Nick Salvucci out of Paso Robles, California. Gary and I got to watch him fish today. It was a good time. Then we spent some time in prison. All right, so we're going to go now. Our 10th place angler coming to us. He is 5:19 behind you, and that is Tom. Don't follow him. Lead him. Don't follow him. Lead him. I like it. All right, Tom. How'd you do out there?
It was a grind today. We got a few fish, but not what we were looking for.
Well, you only need 5:19. Let's see them one at a time. Let's see those fish and see if you're going to be able to knock Buy Me a Gucci Salvucci out of this chair over here. Yeah, the big ones. There you go. A barely keeper bass goes in first. He's got a bag full of fish, folks. They're feisty. Getting a little bigger. You watering them and they're growing. The trophy. There you go. There's the trophy. It was a tough day on Lake Mead, folks. Let's weigh up those fish and see if they go 5:19. It might be close. It might be close. Let's keep the suspense alive. All right, he needs 5:19. Those fish are going to go 4:43. 4:43. You're safe over there, Nick. You are not going to take over our hot seat. I know you weren't expecting to it as you came up here, but how was the event for you?
It was phenomenal. I love this place, and the weather is just beautiful today, which I think was the problem.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was tough for everybody, even our leader, as we watched.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was, absolutely.
Anybody you want to thank for your season or weekend?
Yep, absolutely. Last Chance Performance Marine at Southern California, Mike and Lynn, Dan, and Megan. I could not be doing this without you, so thank you guys. Phoenix Boats, I ran that boat all over the lake this week, and it's perfect. Always impressing me. A Mercury, I put a lot of gas through that motor. It's flawless. And last, Frank Toyota, Southern California.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next season.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Okay, coming up next, this gentleman had 19:32 coming into the day. He needs 5:16 to knock Mr. Salvucci out of that seat, and that is Philip Rosner. Come on up, Philip. He's got a bag of fish. Let's get right into the fish, Philip, and then we'll chat. How's that? Let's do that. First fish going into the bag. Oh, boy, that's a great start, Philip. That is a beautiful smallmouth. And that's it. All right, let's weigh that smallmouth and see how it is. I think it might be big fish of the day so far. Smallmouth goes 287. 287, Philip. Not the day 3 you were looking for, I'm assuming.
No, not the day at all. It was a grind. I kept doing what I was doing that got me here, and I was stubborn. I kept doing it, thinking if I got 5 of those, I had to, move up. But I just grinded it out and grinded it out, and that's all I come up with.
Well, thank you so much for fishing with us this season. I know it was a good year for you, Philip.
Yeah, I had a good year. It was fun, and we'll be back at it next year.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you then. Thank you. Appreciate it, Philip. Coming up next to the stage is an angler out of Mesa, Arizona. He had 1944 coming into the day. He needs 504 to knock Nick Salvucci out of this chair. He and Gary Dobbins have pet nicknames for each other. They're just like cuddle buddies on the weekends. Mr. Marty Lawrence. I can't believe neither one of you hit me on that one. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate it. All right, let's see your fish, Marty, one at a time. One at a time. All right. First fish in the bag. 2. There's 3. Marty's got a bag full of fish, folks. We have not had many limits today. Does Marty have a limit? He has a limit. Wow. Ooh, and a great smallmouth to round out that limit, Marty. Let's get those right on the scale. Marty Lawrence needing 504 to knock Mr. Salvucci out of this chair. I think your time is limited. What do you think?
I think you're right.
I think you're going to get to weigh fish at the end of this. Marty Lawrence knocks him out of the seat. He needed 504. He's got 871. Marty, you are now the new leader of this event, my friend.
All right. Well, it was a little bit better day today. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty good tournament, huh?
Yeah, it's been a good tournament.
All right, how'd you catch your fish? Tell the people that. No more days. You can tell them.
I'm throwing a little micro jig and a crankbait. That's the high-tech jig with a 3-inch chigger craw trailer and a square bill crankbait. That's all I've been using.
All right, well, we're going to put you in that hot seat, and you're going to have to stress over there for a little bit to see if you get to hold on to that hot seat. Well, Marty, we are now 30% of the way through the weigh-in, and you're still there. You're there now, so you got a shot. You got a shot. Coming up next, out of Norwalk, California, he had 2021 coming into the day. He needs 794 to knock Marty out of that chair. Come on up, David Valdivia. David's got a bag. David's got a bag. David, you need 792. Let's get right into weighing your fish and see them one at a time for the crowd. Tough day out there on the water today, folks. First fish in. They are lively. Them Ranger live wells are amazing. They don't just come up here lively. They come up angry. Number 2. It's like them MS-13 gang members Gary had his way with. Terrible. 3 in the bag. Getting bigger, David. Marty, it may be a short visit for you. 4 in the bag, and these last ones have been good ones. Uh-oh. We have a 5th fish, folks. Another limit. Back-to-back limits, and that's a good one, too. Let's get these right on the scale. He's going to need 794 to become the new leader of the Lucas Oil Western Classic for 2017. Those fish go into the scale. He needed 794. He's done it, folks. He's got 898. Our new leader at the Western Classic, Mr. David Valdivia. How does that feel, my friend?
Feels good. It feels good. I feel like it's going to be short-lived, though. But it feels good. I had a good day.
And you had a good season as well.
Yeah, it was a fun season. This is the first year I fished Wild West, and it's a great trail, guys. If you guys haven't fished, you guys need to get out here and fish this trail. It's a great circuit. You guys need to come out.
How'd you catch your fish out there this weekend?
So the first day I literally had a really bad day. I only had 7 pounds. I went to my starting spot. I literally caught 5 fish in like 30 minutes, and I left to go catch big ones, and I never got a big bite. And then yesterday I adjusted, and I just did what I thought was my next best plan.
Which is what?
Which was run to another area, another area that I thought I could do well in, and I threw topwater, and I also threw a worm, and I caught 13 pounds.
Good day.
Yeah, it was a good day. And then today, with the flat conditions, I had a feeling, I had to adjust. I just never got a big bite, but I adjusted. I fished that like 20 to 25 foot zone.
Worm?
Yep, with the worm. Just really slow, and it was just a grind. I got maybe 10 keeper bites today.
Well, you had a great day. I mean, we know it was a tough day after seeing everybody go through it, and that was a fantastic day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a good day.
Well, you're going to take our Ranger hot seat, David. We'll see you over there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up next to see if he can knock David out of that Ranger hot seat. He had 2041 coming into the day. He needs 878 to take the lead. Mr. Clayton Eastlick comes to the scales. How are you, Clayton?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Let's see those fish. Let's go one at a time on those guys. And if they're anywhere near as lively as the last couple batches, I'm going to have to hold them. Here we go. All right. First in the bag. Yeah, Clayton's fish are just as lively, folks. 2 in the bag. Nice fish. Number 3 is a nice bass. And that's it. We got 3 in the bag, Gary. All right, those 3 fish would have to go 878 to take the lead. Let's get them right on the scales. I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll verify it here. Nope. 548. You are safe over there, David. What a great event you had. What a great season you had, Clayton.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year. 2 top 10s, so I can't complain. It's been good.
Absolutely. And how did you catch your fish today?
I've caught everything on a popper all week pretty much except one big one. Just working it real fast along the top, and I did it again today trying to get a big bag to catch up to the leader. So just did what I had to do and just only ended up with 3 though. So.
And what part of the lake were you in today?
I was in Temple Bar. That's right. All week. I had 3 coves that had some grass in it, and that's what I pretty much targeted the whole week and had some quality bites.
We appreciate you fishing with us, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
No problem. I think, hey, whoever wants to get into these tournaments, this thing is awesome for you guys. If you want to start out fishing, this is a great tournament trail. Gary does a great job and his staff, so hopefully you guys come out next year and support trail.
Thank you, Clayton. Much appreciated. David Valdivia is still our leader, folks, and we are almost halfway through. I think actually now we are halfway through this weigh-in because we're coming up onto boat number 5. Yep. Boat number 5 out of Salinas, California. He is the second best fishing Borofka. He had 2044 coming into the day. He needs 875 to take the lead. He is the husband of Tara Borofka, Jason Borofka.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my wife. She did a great job, babe. I love you so much. I'm more excited about her finish than I'm going to finish here. That's all I'm thinking about right now. And
well, let's see your fish, and then we'll get back to it. How's that? We got fish over here we want to see. 1 at a time, Mr. Borofka. There you go. Thank you. First in the bag. I got it. Second fish in the bag. There's number 3. Smallmouth. They are growing, Jason. Ooh, Jason. We might have another limit over here, folks. Not many of those today. Oh, lively fish. Boy, they are growing. Nice bag, Jason. You're going to have a nice limit of fish. He does have that limit. Nice fish, Jason. Solid bag of fish. Let's get him right on the scales. Jason, you only need 875, and then you're going to move Mr. David off of this chair. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it, David? He needs 875. No, sir. 842. 842 for Jason Borofka. You are safe, David Valdivia. Jason, what a great season. What a great event for you and your wife.
Yeah. This season was amazing. We had a great run at it. Jeez, these guys paid us so much money. It's amazing. But yeah.
That sounded like a Tai Au speech.
Yeah, this is a Tai Au speech here. Yeah, we've traveled together and we fished this whole year together. And Tara, this is our second year, and we've made top 10s, and we just had a great time. And this coming to this lake, it's a special lake, and this is a perfect place for a championship. I know we're not coming back next year, but I got to say I've accomplished a goal, and my goal was to make a top 10 at this lake. It's always been a tough time, and yeah, I started out day 1, couldn't believe it. Day 1, I went out. I had a limit in the first 10 casts, and I probably caught 20 keepers. I started out fishing my G rig. It's a 2-hook umbrella rig, and it was like I couldn't believe it because I only caught 1 fish in practice on that thing. The weather just looked right. I just put it on the deck and started it with it. I ended up catching a big one that I actually forgot to weigh in as a big fish. It was a 347 on my scale, and I caught that on a Yamamoto D-shad, and I also caught one about 2 1/4 on the first day on the same bait. So I had 2 of my kickers came on the Yamamoto, but everything else came on the rig. And then day 2, it got a little tougher. Day two, I got a little tougher and ran around. I wasn't getting that rig bite, and I just stuck with that D-shad the whole time. If you guys have ever thrown a fluke, try the D-shad, you guys. If you stop it, the tail wiggles, it falls like a Cinco. It's made of the same plastic. If you don't set the hook fast enough, they will swallow it. They will not let go of it. And that's how I caught my fish day 2. And today, it was a grind, man. I caught 5 fish. I I made a run all the way from Greg's all the way to the back of the Overton to catch one 13-incher. And I got him, and I ran all the way back, and I had 2 seconds when I came through that buoy right there. So, you know, I'm proud. I got a limit every day, and that's something I've never done here. So I got to thank my sponsors. Also, Lucas Oil. Man, they sponsor this deal. All the guys here at Wild West, Gary with Dobbins Rods. And I'm more likely going to get some good Evinrude money. I'm really excited about that. And Evinrude pays us back some big stuff you're running at Evinrude. I ran that Evinrude G2 all over this whole lake. And a brand new Ranger, the 521. It's amazing. It's the best boat I ever had. So if you guys want to come out and fish with us next year, they got a great schedule. It's going to be bigger next year for sure. And can't wait for the team championships coming up at Berryessa.
Thank you, Jason. No, I appreciate it, man. I needed some hydration and some lubrication, so I'm good now. I feel like a new man. Second place, Jason. Great event for you, man. We'll see you next year. We'll see you in October. You're in second. You're in second. Come on now. I'm not losing it. I started to get dizzy and see stars, but I'm still seeing that right. We got 4 boats left, folks. 4 boats left. The morning in prison was rough. I'm a little woozy. Coming up next to knock David Valdivia out of that chair. He had 2076 coming into the day. He's out of Oakdale, California. He needs 843 to take over our Ranger Evinrude hot seat. That is Mr. Randy Pierson. We're going to see his fish. He's on it. Get after it, Randy. I won't even slow you down, man. All right. We're going to see Randy's fish here. Nice fish. Now, Randy was in the running for the Angler of the Year standings coming into this day, but Tai Au did clinch that yesterday. 2 in the bag for Randy. Randy follows us and fishes every event with us. Had a fantastic season. Been a pleasure to have him up here with us all year long. 3 in the bag. 3 in the bag is it for Mr. Pierson. Let's get him right on the scales. Randy, unless I'm seeing things, those fish probably aren't going to go 843, but we'll make it official here.
No, I'm proud of those 3. That's the only 3 keeper bites I got all day.
Well, those 3 keeper bites are going to go 501, 501. So you're not going to knock them off the hot seat, but you had a great tournament and really even a greater season.
Yeah, no, I'm real happy with the way things went, and coming here to Lake Mead after last year, kind of struggled, having a limit each day. Thought I could possibly get one today. Had 2 other bites, or actually didn't even bite. They didn't commit. There were a couple nice ones, but real happy with the way things went.
Outstanding. And we know you've got some great sponsors you probably want to thank as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely thank my sponsors, Dobbins Rods. I just switched over probably the first of the year. Fantastic rods. I needed to go something I had confidence in. I tried them out, and honestly, those are awesome rods. Keeper Worms, Outdoor Sportsman in Stockton, they take care of me very well. Great sporting goods store. Ranger Boats. And then I got to say hi to my wife and my kids. And then one other thing, when I come to these events, my parents, they're kind of like my bass pit crew. My dad takes care of the boat, my mom and dad, so they support me. I wanted to thank them also. And then one last thing before we go. Wild West, Craig, special thanks to you. Special thanks to Gary, Angie, Matt, Jeremy. If I'm missing anyone else, but they do an awesome job. And next year, I know some other guys that are stepping up. They're planning on fishing the circuit. We need to get more guys. I know we finally got a motherlode tournament. So all you motherlode guys out there, don't just show up to fish the motherlode. Show up to fish the whole circuit. So show them where it's at. You guys can do it. I mean, it's an awesome deal. It's a fun deal. It's a great time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Randy. We look forward to seeing you next month, and then we'll see you again next year. Awesome. Okay, folks, there's 3 left. Coming up next, your Angler of the Year in 2017. We crowned him with that title yesterday officially because he blew the field out so far. Now he's trying to win this event too and take home a Ranger Boat Evinrude package. He had 21.31 coming into the day. He needs 7.88 to knock David out of that seat. He is from Phoenix, Arizona, and that is Mr. Tai Au. Or as he says it, Tai Au! 1 in the bag. 2 fish coming in. Again, Ty's looking for 7.88 to take the Ranger Evinrude hot seat. 3 fish. Not as big as Ty's been catching all week. There's number 4. Uh-oh. This one's better. This one's definitely better and angry. Nice. Nice bass. Got a limit, folks. That limit has to go 788. You feeling nervous, David? A little bit nervous for David over there. You got two guys after Tai, too. Let's weigh this fish, Tai. You might be the one sitting over there. You need 788. That bag is going to go 7. The suspense. The suspense. It has to be 788. They're trying to get there. They keep fighting to make it to 788. And those fish go 740 officially. 740. Tai, you are not going to take that hot seat, but that does put you in second place with only 2 gentlemen left to weigh. Tai, Angler of the Year, a great season. You were like top 10 every week. What's up, man?
You know what? It's just been one of those magical seasons. I mean, you know, just before my run, midway half of last year, I mean, I fished 6 pro-level events and didn't cash a check in any of them. And, you know, it was a lot of hard work, and, you know, I kept my head up, kept grinding, and, you know, it just happens to be that, you know, I had a good run. So really thankful for everything that Wild West has done, all your sponsors. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of Wild West, see how hard these guys work for the anglers. I mean, it is a organization that's ran by anglers for us anglers, and I don't know where, you know, what kind of money I'll be making elsewhere. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. And just to lock up Angler of the Year, and I know I said it before, I look up to so many anglers out there. And just to have a season like I did and just finish out on top like I did, I mean, it's just really, really special to me. So thank you for, you know, everything. And, you know, I want to thank my sponsors, General Tire, Evinrude. You know, my Ranger boat got me to the other end of the lake. I ran 40 miles every single day in this tournament, and you know, everything's been great. I caught my fish the first day, throwing a shallow crankbait, so wiggle wart. Caught him on a one-bladed spinnerbait with Gary Yamamoto grub. Caught him on a skinny dipper, Ratchet Innovation skinny dipper, a jig with a hula grub, half-ounce, green and purple. So really, I was just junk fishing all week long and just fishing whatever's in front of me, covering a lot of water. And every day, these fish will set up differently. The first day, they were setting out in the grass line, outside grass line, about 10, 15 feet away from the trees. The second day, they were in the wood. Today, I don't know. They were all over the place. I couldn't really figure it out. Had 5 bites today, and, you know, capitalized on all 5, so couldn't be happier.
Thank you, Tai. We appreciate you fishing with us. You had a great year, and we're going to see you next season.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it. So.
Thanks, Tai. Much appreciated for Tai Au. David Valdivia still in the leader's seat for this event. Coming up next, out of Auburn, California, he had 22.58 coming into the day. He needs 6.61 to take you out of that seat, David. And that is Bill O'Shin. Bill O'Shin coming to the scales. Let's see those fish one at a time, Mr. Bill O'Shin. We watched Bill fish this weekend. Gary appreciated watching him fish. He's fishing a little different pattern than the rest of the folks out there. 2 in the bag. 2 fish for Mr. Bill O'Shin. Bill's looking for 6.61 to take the lead. Nice, big largemouth for Bill. That's it. 3 fish in the bag. Let's put them on the scale. I don't think they're going to go 6.61, Bill. Looks like your pattern might have dried up just a little bit on this last day. It was a tough day out there.
Yeah, you know, my pattern dried up, but my boat didn't. I had a boat leak today, and so...
527. Not going to do it, but get back to that boat leak. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I was the Titanic today. My boat was leaking. My bilges were gone, so I ended up having to come back a little early, and I caught my biggest fish down here, so it was okay, but it was a tough day. But all in all, a great tournament. I really had a good time, so...
We appreciate you coming out and fishing with us, Bill. We know you had a great run this weekend, a great event, and we look forward to seeing you in the future on the Wild West Bass Trail.
Yeah, you know, I'll be here. I really enjoyed my year with you guys, and, you know, I mean, this circuit's great. It's affordable for us. I think it went out.
You there? No, you're there.
It's affordable for us Western anglers, and it's a great circuit, and I just had a great time.
Thank you, Bill. Much appreciated. We'll see you next season. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, are we going to take a break back there, folks? No break. We're rolling. All right, we're going to crown a champion. We're going to crown a champion. Come stand next to me, Mr. David Valdivia. Coming to us next, we're going to give this trophy out, folks. This is the trophy for the champion of the Wild West Bass Trail in 2017. Leading today, coming into the event, hailing from Paso Robles, California. He is an excellent fisherman, an even nicer guy. We enjoyed an entire day on the water with him before we went into prison. He had 24.48 coming into the day. He is only 4.71 behind David Valdivia, and that is Nick Salvucci. Buy me a Gucci, Nick Salvucci. All right, let's do it. Let's see those fish one at a time. If Nick has 4.71, he is your champion. If not, David Valdivia is your champion. First fish in the bag. Second fish in the bag. Does he have 3? He has 3, David. David's getting a little nervous. Is it done, David?
Yeah, it's done.
David thinks it's done. He's got one more fish. He had a limit of fish today, folks. Nice limit of fish, too. Nice limit of fish. He was fishing all the way at the top of that Overton arm. We took a long drive, a long boat ride to get there. Let's weigh them up and make it official. Come stand next to each other, gentlemen. If those fish are more than 4.71, Mr. Nick Salvucci is your champion. Those fish go 10.39. Wild West Bass Champion 2017, Nick Salvucci, taking home your trophy. Nick, what an event, man.
Okay, so you know I'm not the most outspoken guy
Yeah, but you're
up
gonna
here.
have it right now. I know you're going to go right now.
So I don't know. I want to thank Wild West, my friends and family. They've been sending me good luck texts all week, so that's cool. Let's see. You mean it's the first time I've fished this lake. This is my first year fishing Wild West for the entire year, and you know it was just great. So I really appreciate what Wild West has done. Put on a great circuit, and let's see. I caught 4 fish day 1. Caught them on top water. Caught one big one, 680 on day 1. Wasn't able to get a limit. Day 2, I caught them all on a buzzbait, and then yesterday I caught 2 on kind of a Czar's walking bait, and then 3 on a buzzbait, and then today caught 4 on a buzzbait, 1 on a frog, and probably had 10 bites, and that's what I ended up with.
Nick was so chill, folks. We drove all the way up to the Overton arm, and then we boated in to find him this morning. And when we pulled up on you, Nick, you had 1 short one and missed 1, right? Is that right?
I lost one and missed 1.
He'd lost 1 and missed 1. He didn't care. You could not rattle this man this whole weekend. It was really kind of fun to watch. And then as we're with him all day, he kept saying, it's all good, it's all good. They're going to bite around 11. They're going to bite around 11. And I think he had 2 fish at one point, and it's getting late in the day, and I'm looking over at Gary going, man, he may be in trouble. And Gary goes, I don't know, man. This guy's cool. He is really cool. I think he's got it. Sure enough, 11:05 comes around. He sticks a good one. He looks over and goes, I told you they're going to start biting right now. It was pretty fun to watch, Nick. We really appreciated watching you do that on the water. And you told us some cool stories about a couple of your friends who helped you learn how to become a better fisherman over the years. You want to thank any of those guys?
I already did. I thanked friends and family, so that did it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, friends and family. Well, we've got a check to present you. Oh, yeah.
So I do want to thank Kinma, Keith, and Ryan Tripp. So I stayed with them this week. They cooked dinner. We had a good time. Played some cornhole. So I just want to thank them. And it was a really good week.
Well, we've got a check we want to present you from Ranger Boats and Evinrude Motors. Mr. Keith Tripp from Ranger Boats is here to present you that check. You're going to be taking home a package worth $40,250 at this event. How you feeling about that?
It's cool.
That's cool. Is this your first boat won as in a Pro-Am event?
Yeah, I've won one in a team tournament, first Pro-Am.
Outstanding. And Keith, did you want to say a couple words for us, please?
Yeah, he gets us excited being the cornhole champion, too. He kicked our butts all week, so he's had a great week. But on behalf of Ranger Boats, we're excited for Nick, and, man, what a great champion.
Nick Salvucci from Paso Robles, California, folks. He is your Wild West Bass champion for 2017 here at the Lucas Oil Western Classic. We are the Wild West Bass Trail. We thank you so much for coming out here. We appreciate you, Nick. We will see you guys one more time this year at Lake Berryessa in October for the team championship. Until then, for Gary Dobbins and Matt Morgan and Angie Morgan, I'm Craig Gottwalls. Goodbye, stay safe, and see you on the water.
You bought her many years ago, and she's been there for you every day since. It's because you've taken care of her, pampered her. Only the best will do. That's why you choose Lucas Oil Marine products to protect her. Every day she starts, gets you there, and gets you back, even after all these years. Lucas Oil Marine products, because it's no fun to walk back to shore from the middle of a lake.
You know, I've never really had an office job.
Ooh, morning, Skate.
Morning, Edwin.
Go to teamgtfishing.com to see more.
The future of boating is here. Now, get all the thrilling performance of an Evinrude E-Tech G2 in the new 150, 175, and 200 horsepower.
Bass fishing's fun, but half of these tournaments is like a boat race, trying to beat everybody down the lake. And with that Evinrude E-Tech G2, it's like driving a Corvette. That thing is passing everybody.
All the best-in-class torque of the Evinrude E-Tech G2 is now available from 150 to 300 horsepower.
This is a whole nother level. The G2 is awesome.
To learn more, visit evinrude.com.